Okay, hello and welcome. I haven't been on for a while. I've been doing some personal stuff, really cool, but I've had several people reach out, and one of them was the chat that I'm going to do tonight about sexual abuse and the nature of evil. We're going to talk about demonic oppression during and after childhood sexual crimes. I wanted to read this quote by John Eldredge. He's one of my favorite guys in life. And it says this: Our sexuality is so deeply intertwined with and expressive of our gender, our heart, our yearning for pleasure and for love. It is core to our being. When harm is done here, it is done in the depths of our existence. And our enemy seizes the opportunity to access dark strongholds within us. Those places of oppression tend to be among the deepest forms of oppression people experience because evil has accessed wounding done to core parts of our soul. Our hope is that as those strongholds are broken, we can experience a healing and freedom otherwise absolutely impossible apart from God banishing the darkness and reclaiming his own. So let's go ahead and get into the meat of it. I wanted to start with that there is a battle for your heart's devotion going on. God has a plan. And one of the plans you find in Jeremiah 29. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Then you will call on me and come to me and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with your whole heart. I will be found by you, declares the Lord. So that's one plan for your heart, God's plan. But Satan has a plan for your heart too. So to know what his plan would be, we have to know what God and the Bible tells us about Satan. In John 10:10, it tells us that the thief, who is Satan, comes only in order to steal, kill, and destroy. So that is a battle plan for your heart's devotion as Satan would have it. But let's keep going. I found this wonderful article, and it was called Sexual Abuse and the Nature of Evil. I'm going to be going through some excerpts from that article because Dan is the author of Healing the Wounded Heart. So, Dan Allender wrote this book. He also has a go along, oh, what do you call it, you guys? A workbook that goes with this Healing the Wounded Heart. Now, nature. He really found a lot by working with his clients. So let's go ahead and look at some excerpts from this great article. That way, you're just not listening to me and my authority. All right, so here it is. He says, I have come to believe that the most significant portions of a story of abuse are guarded not only by ourself, but also by foul spirits that threaten, mock, confuse, and shut down our internal world whenever we get too close to shame and heartache. The moment the topics of evil and spiritual warfare are brought up into the conversation about sexual abuse, conflict and chaos seem to reign. Now, stay with me here. Don't go anywhere. Let's keep going. A participant in a sexual abuse recovery group told me, Look, I know there's something working against me. I don't need to be convinced that there's a dark presence in the world. But I happened to be in a church that demonized every problem or mishap. I feel sick because I liked them and the church until I became their project to rid me of demons. I thought this was really important because I too went through a time in life where there was like a demon around every corner, there was a demon under every rock. I mean, people can really take this out of context. Jesus only spent a third of his time, which is a substantial amount of time, but still it was a third. Two-thirds he did other things. A third of the time he dealt with dark spirits. So that's what we're going to talk about today. No fear to be in it, but I know that everybody understands, just like this person said, look, I know there's something working against me. So from that place, let's catapult and keep going. I loved in this article that he went through some core convictions about evil. So I thought that we'd walk through those one at a time. The first one that he had was evil exists and is not infinite, but is a creature, a fallen angel, and his cohorts in opposition to the glory of God and God's plan for his creation. Remember, we started with a plan. Evil is limited by its existence as a creature. Evil is not omnipresent, nor is it omnipotent. Only God is God. Nevertheless, the kingdom of darkness is intentional, well informed, relentless, and perverse. Evil's primary way of operating is in darkness and secrecy. Boy, don't we know all about that. Subtly using its cunning to reach its ultimate goal, ruining the glory of God. It will expend no more energy against a person, marriage, family, institution, or community than it needs to achieve its goal. If a person can be seduced by hours of television, sabotaged through a depression, or lulled into self sufficiency through money, a degree, or a set of convictions that limit curiosity, then evil will likely focus more attention on those who are more dangerous to its kingdom. Evil hates what God reveals in and through the creation of humanity, especially with regard to gender and sexuality. Nothing brings evil greater delight or power than to foul our joy in being a man or a woman through sexual harm or gender confusion on the one hand, or dogmatism on the other. So important to remember. We see so much of that in the world today. Evil delights in sexual abuse because the return on the investment is maximized. It takes seconds to abuse, but the consequences can ruin the glory of a person for an absolute lifetime. The end game of evil is to destroy our trust in God and then offer us any alternative that further distances us from the healing God longs for us to experience. Just sit with that for a minute. That is the end game. Evil steals innocence and joy. It hates our potential intimacy with God. Therefore, it uses the desire He created in us for beauty and sensuality and our hunger for wisdom to seduce us away from Him. Its tactic is simple: use desire to tempt us away from our deepest desires and then turn us against desire as the enemy that got us into trouble. It's like a sting operation. So, what does that look like in our life? Oh, it looks something like your body's evil, and desire will always get you into trouble. You will never be loved because you're ugly, but at least your body can be used to get the closest thing to love: attention. Evil is brilliant and at then setting up experiences that will bring us evidence of its deceitful accusations. Isn't that the truth? Never trust, never love, never need anyone. All lies. The plan through Jesus. This is why Jesus came. And I wonder if you knew this. In Luke, it says, Jesus said, "The Spirit of the Lord is on me because he has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners." Also translated as, "He sent me to heal the brokenhearted and recovery of sight for the blind, to set the oppressed free." When you sit with those words, you have to ask yourself, what did he come to set me free from? And did you know that God came to earth just looking for your broken heart? He did. It's why he came incarnate through Jesus and became a man, because he was looking for the brokenhearted, not the religious, not the perfect. He was looking for the broken man. He wanted to heal his heart. Think about that. What an intimate, intimate goal. So there is nothing that will open our eyes to our bondage to the kingdom of darkness other than the kindness of God. It is the love of God that called Jesus to stand against every accusation and claim made against us. And I want you to think about that for a second. Coming through childhood sexual crimes, mine was incest, it was my family. I have been ridiculed, called a liar. The entire family stands against me. My niece told me they have the I Hate Aunt Jody Club. You know what? You know what I've learned? That Jesus stands against every accusation and claim made against me because of his love for me. You think about that, because we're not going to stay with the darkness. Does darkness stay there? Is darkness there? Absolutely. But who wins? Be on the side of Jesus. And here is this other most beautiful thing in the world. He who is in us, Jesus, is greater than he who is in the world, the prince of darkness. And through the Spirit of God, we are empowered to do direct harm to the kingdom of evil through the skillful use of faith, hope, and love. And as we know what Paul tells us, but the greatest of these is love. So I want to just end by saying, yes, all of those things that I just talked about, indeed, there is demonic oppression when you come through childhood sexual crimes. And my belief is that these people who abuse have got to have this outside influence, because think about it. If you're not demonically oppressed, how could you demonize a child and take them out for possibly the rest of their life? I believe the person who abused you had an evil presence with them. That presence is then over you operating while that's happening. That's what we call oppression. And so then, unfortunately, when you go in life, all those things that we just read, if you're confused, go back and listen to this again, because there is no confusion in the kingdom of God. But did oppression stay with you? Absolutely. Do you feel like darkness is there? That desire that has been manipulated and crushed so that nothing's good anymore? Yeah, you know what? That's not from the kingdom of God. So go back and listen to that again. Listen to the way that God made us. If your gender has been under deep attack, that is not from God. God made you male or female, and he wants to honor that in you. And you know what? I'm telling you, it is everything that's good to stand in the way that God made you. So, all of these things, that's what it looks like to walk with oppression. All right, I'm going to see you next time. You know what? Reach out to me and let me know what things you'd like to hear. I'm open and I'm here to teach and to let you know how you can be free too, because that's what it's all about. That oppression, just like Dan said in that article. What happens is when you're touched, it takes only seconds, but that oppression can last a lifetime. Go back and listen to this again. Listen to the words. Jesus came to set you free and set you free indeed. So you know what? I'm here to help you in any way I can. Send me an email. Leave me a comment. I'm back and I'm here to help. All right. See you next time. Stay blessed.